Okay, hello. And yeah, it's been a while, but this is just something I need to talk about because apparently Sony and Disney Marvel Studios are no longer like working together to make any more Spider-Man movies, or just Marvel Studios isn't going to be involved in making any more because this this whole thing is just surprising to me because, and if I don't sound professional, because I'm just a little bit upset about this, that basically saying like they're done, or at this point like they're done making any more Spider-Man movies. And it's just kind of like shocking because I got some notes here and the actual article online, and it says basically that there are no more, they're not gonna they're not gonna do any more movies, like they're not in no more MCU Spider-Man, he's out. But they did say that Sony is gonna continue with Tom Holland as Spider-Man, so they're gonna move him into their own Sony verse or something like that, the own cinematic universe. And it's weird because it started out with Marvel in Civil War, and basically Spider-Man, his Uncle Ben was Iron Man in some sort of way. Just overall, it just seems like weird and crazy, and I know people are gonna bash Sony for this mostly because they're Sony and they make mistakes, but it's also on Disney's part because Marvel Studios, they were like, I'm pretty sure they wanted to keep going on, but since I think Disney is money hungry and now that they're an evil corporation, they decided to like get like 50 split 50-50 profits, and Sony's like, no, they don't want to do that. But I could see why they want to make profit because um Far From Home was like, is like, I believe right now is like the highest grossing Spider-Man movie, and like the highest grossing Sony movie. So that's pretty insane. But overall, just this art, just like, hold on, looking at the article. Let's see here. That there's also that there's two Spider-Man movies in the works, and I don't know how that's gonna happen because Kevin Feige, who's the producer and president of Marvel Studios, he's not gonna be in charge of making those. So we're gonna see how that's gonna be into it. There is gonna be more Spider-Man, like Tom Holland, like he's not done, but he's not in the MCU anymore, so that's kind of really disappointing. And since I'm like mostly like me and my like sister were fans of Spider-Man, so seeing him leave the MCU is kind of disappointing because they're obviously not gonna reboot him because that's stupid. They had like about like three reboots, one of them being not so good, but it's just so weird that like seeing like we can't like he's gonna be out of the MCU, like gone, like the whole MCU now. No, he's not gonna be anymore. I don't think they're gonna even mention him because, and it's weird they can't just pull him out because he made appearances in Civil War and Infinity War, Endgame, and his own two movies, Homecoming and Far From Home, which is stupid because they fit in parts of the MCU like Far From Home introduced the theory of the multiverse, which Doctor Strange, you know, into the multiverse of madness is gonna do. But it was like the first one to introduce like the theory of that, and also like in Civil War he was introduced there, and like that's where he first like got involved in the MCU, and just see him like get pulled out like doesn't make sense because you can't just yank a popular character like Spider Man's like the like best or the most famous Marvel superhero or superhero in general. He's basically like the mascot of Marvel. So okay, and let me see. I'm gonna read more into this article. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but see here. So the lead at Sony, Tom Rothman or something, whatever, and basically like they didn't like what they're trying to do. Like Disney wants 50% of like financing, I guess, from Spider-Man, like profits. I think, I don't know, and they don't want to share 50-50, which makes sense because that's one of Sony's biggest properties. But at the same time, like Disney owned before, it only owned like 5%, and I think Disney was asking for a little bit too much. Maybe if they said like 10% or maybe 15, that would have been fine. But like overall, just like people think Sony's the bad guy because they removed him, but technically they do own the rights to Spider-Man, so there's that. So I'm blaming Disney and Sony for this. I'm kind of split, but a little bit more on Disney's side. I'm saying like it's bad because like they just wanted like more money and stuff like that. They had enough money because, well, they lost money because they bought Fox. Whatever. They're buying everyone, and they own Fantastic Four and the X-Men, Deadpool, and like those. They're gonna be integrated into the MCU. I'm assuming, and just seeing Spider-Man version of Go is weird because if they do continue hit them in their Sony cinematic universe, it's not gonna make sense because how they're gonna do like origin story. Like I'm pretty sure people see in the Spider-Man movies, the MCU ones, and if they do include them, like it's gonna be weird. I'm just saying it's this whole situation is just weird, and I can see why people are mad, like hardcore MCU and Spider-Man fans, including me. I was like really upset at first, but like I started watching videos and reading other articles saying different perspectives and understanding that this is all about money. There's just two money hungry companies couldn't agree, and it's just disappointing because the ones they're hurting is not only they're hurting themselves with like money and profits, is they're hurting the fans as well because this MCU Spider-Man belonged in the MCU. Like he doesn't need to be by himself. Like that's why they put him in the MCU. And plus Sony has like Into the Spider-Verse. Like I'm pretty sure that did really well. I like that movie, so like they could do something with that. And also people think like, oh, this is a higher chances of Spider-Man meeting with the Venom, which I haven't really seen Venom the whole lot. Just whatever. And like that would be cool to see, like Spider and Venom fight or team up or something, whatever. But like it just it's just kind of messed up and weird because hold on, I'm reading the article here saying what it has to say because basically saying like Kevin Feige's not in charge. Like here's my worry about it. If they do, is like since Kevin Feige's no longer producing or in charge of the Spider-Man movies, the MCU ones. Like since Sony now gains the controls and stuff like that, and overall just makes me worried how the quality of them will be because I know that Into the Spider-Verse was Sony only, but that was like Sony Animation, which they make some pretty decent movies, like animated movies. Besides Emoji Movie, that one's just awful. But they made that and I liked it. Really cool, fun Spider-Man movie. Like my top three Spider-Man movies. It's just last time when they did it, like the three original Spider-Man movies made by Sam Raimi, he like those movies were really good. He made them really good. Like I can't like they made like I think they identified what superhero movies are supposed to be. It felt like a comic book. And that's where I grew up on the Spider-Man and knew I loved the character. And then when they rebooted because things went on with like Sony and junk like that, and they couldn't produce Spider-Man 4, so they rebooted it to Amazing Spider-Man. I watched those movies, and it turns out that the stories were shit. All they were trying to do is make a franchise instead of focusing on making it good. And Sony now, look, the Amazing Spider-Man movies, they're like, I don't blame the actors or anyone in there, like Andrew Garfield. He tried, like, it's not his fault, it's obviously Sony, so I blame Sony for that. And and then they rebooted Spider-Man another time, but in the MCU. So I'm assuming like, oh, Marvel made Spider-Man like they tried fitting him in MCU, and then there he is, like he's the Spider-Man. Like I like this version of Spider-Man. Like he's fun. I like him. But like, if they do make Spider-Man like has Sony like okay, let's do make a Spider-Man movie. If they get the good right type of people to make it, then I will think, it could be a really good movie. But if Sony does another Amazing Spider-Man, or just the second one as well, which is worse, then they could ruin Spider-Man and they cannot reboot him a second time or a third time or whatever. And basically, this is, surprisingly, this is actually pretty, like, a thing that's happening. And hopefully in the future, or like it won't take long, that they will, like, eventually make a new, negotiate again and make another thing, say, hey, let's bring back Spider-Man MCU. Like they have time to do it before the other Spider-Man movies come out, or like before the MCU like starts evolving more. Because in the ending of Far From Home, like, spoilers if you haven't seen that movie, which, if you haven't, go, because you're stupid. And then, sorry, but still, it's a really good movie. That's why. But like, an ending of that, MJ and Peter like finally become a thing, and then he's like, oh, he saved the day from Mysterio and junk like that. But it turns out that, hey, Mysterio revealed that Spider-Man's Peter Parker. Says the name, shows a photo of him, and showing him a video of him like saying that he's a bad guy and he's the one who released the evil drones and caused all the things, and made Mysterio himself look like a hero, which not what they had, J. Jonah Jameson there, which was pretty cool. And then that, and like, oh, this is a really cool cliffhanger. Like, can't wait to see what the third one's about. It's gonna be awesome. But that's gonna be, I'm pretty, it's gonna be on hold for a very long time, or just ignored entirely. And I don't want that, because, like, this whole situation I'm just shocked that this is a thing. Hopefully, Marvel and Sony can do something or Disney could do something. Stop being greedy, Disney, and Sony just, give them a little bit more money, like 10% or 15. That would be good. You don't have to give them like 50, exactly 50. Just give them a little bit more, because technically they did produce it. It's in the MCU, but like overall, I'm split on Marvel and Sony. Whose fault is it and stuff like that? What do you guys think? And hopefully this gets, fixed out soon, because I really enjoy the MCU Spider-Man movies. Again, I love Spider-Man, but just hopefully, like, if they do go out with like no more MCU Spider-Man, hopefully Tom Holland still does a good job with being the new Spider-Man, and and that's all that matters, that Spider-Man stays good quality. So yeah, what do you guys think about this situation? Comment, or just on my Instagram or Twitter, tell me what you guys think about this, and I'll see you guys with other type of videos. I'll do more discussions like this, serious, or just talk about topics in general. Maybe like I talk about, movie. I want to talk about more stuff just besides video games, Nintendo. I want to spread out to like maybe movies or other shows and junk like that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry for my low commentary. I'm just a little bit upset about this, and that's why my voice is like this, because I'm just upset. I'm not overhyping it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.